Rice Fame Group supports the legacies of HBCUs. This is Lacey L. Rice Jr. of Rice Fame Group, welcoming you to Chat with HBCU Champions, Season 3, with a special episode today. We have today USA Gymnastics champion in the vault, the very first HBCU champion in the vault, Kyrstin Johnson. And with this also, we have her head coach, Alabama alum, a very well-skilled gymnast herself, Coach Aja Sims-Fletcher. Welcome, ladies.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Well, thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate you taking out the time to be with us. And we really hope that you have a fine time with us today. And, we want to say congratulations, first of all, to both of you, Kyrstin, for being national champion, and also Coach, because you took quite a few young ladies to that national championship meet. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Because this is Talladega's first year in gymnastics.
We're in. That's right. That's right. Inaugural season. It was fun.
Okay. Well, even though we're featuring Miss Johnson today, I do want to start with Coach because we want to know about your background. So please share with us your background in gymnastics and how you came to this particular position.
Yeah. So I competed at the University of Alabama for all 4 of my undergraduate years in college. And it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. And so when I graduated, I was like, I want to stay in this. And so I had the opportunity to be a volunteer assistant coach and a team manager for the University of Alabama. And I helped them win some SEC championships and helped them organize some top finishes for nationals as well. And then I had an amazing call one day from a group called Brown Girls Do Gymnastics. And they said, hey, there's a school that's looking for you to be a head coach. Are you interested? I said, oh, I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure if I'm qualified. I'm looking for assistant positions. But they said, no, there's an HBCU specifically that wants you. And I said, well, I'm like, pray about it. But after some amazing prayer and some amazing mentors, I said yes, and no regrets since that day. And now that was about a year ago today, and now we're here, and we've had a full season of being a head coach and watching these amazing girls do gymnastics, and it's been amazing.
You did it.
Okay.
We did it.
Seriously,
It was a journey.
It was
a fun one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Miss Johnson, it's your turn now to tell us about your background in gymnastics.
It was a lot. My parents were actually avoiding even putting me in the sport. So I did dance. I didn't really like it. They put me in cheer. Took me out of it to put me in gymnastics. And it was because, I would flip everywhere. Stores, malls, everywhere. I was not supposed to be flipping in the first place. But the reason why they didn't put me in the sport is because I have a cousin that also did gymnastics. She went to Temple, and her parents were telling my parents, don't put her in the sport. It's too expensive. It's going to take a majority of your time. I mean, she wasn't lying. Yeah, it's a lot. But there was one particular day I was somewhere, and I was flipping, and this other girl was flipping. It was like a competition thing. So once I would do like a back walk over, she would do a back walk over. So I got sick of that, and I just chucked a backflip. And my parents were just like, yeah, we can't avoid this any longer. So they put me in the sport. I got my first team, age of 10, which was low 4, skipped 5 and 6, went to 7, and so on. I wasn't really thinking about college. My dream was actually go to the Olympics. So I was trying to train elite. That didn't really work out because of a back injury. So I started focusing on college. Wasn't really sure where I wanted to go. But here I am. I did verbally commit to Fisk because I was like, oh my gosh, it's the first HBCU with a gymnastics team, which I think is dope because it's not like I never really thought of going to, it's not like if I never thought of going to an HBCU, you just never heard of HBCU with a gymnastics team. So I thought I was going to go to a D1. But man, Coach AJ came along. hit me up, and my mom was like, you should give her a chance, have a phone call with her. And I did. I was automatically sold. One of the main reasons why I came here is because of family legacy. And then they had a plan for me with my major because Fisk, they didn't have a veterinary program. I mean, here they don't either, but they at least have a plan for me. So I know that'll be set after college. And then I'm getting a full ride here versus Fisk. I would have basically gotten a partial. And yeah, she was all about academics. And yeah, I just loved the gymnastics. And I was just like, dope. And plus, I'll be making history here. So here I am, a tornado.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So, and I've really never talked to a collegiate gymnast before. I've been at University of Kentucky and I've seen their facility and everything, but I never got to talk to any of their gymnasts. So in high school, and either one or both of you can answer this, when you're in high school, how does that work? I mean, are you primarily in club? Because I know most high schools do not have gymnastics.
That's a good question. You wanna?
yeah, I said, you can go.
Yeah. So usually, gymnasts train at a club gym, and they'll be there. They'll honestly crazy hours of school. Like I personally would wake up early, go to practice, then go to school, then go back to practice at my club gym. And you get recruited starting really young. And so a lot of college coaches will either travel to your gym or start recruiting you by going to competitions throughout your seasons at a young age. But yeah, there is still high school gymnastics, but a lot of collegiate coaches, I guess you recruit from club gyms.
Mhm. Yeah, the experience for me, it was different because I was homeschooled for homeschool. Oh, for homeschool
That's
for high
right.
school.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah.
For high school. And it was because I was trying to go elite, so we had to train 6 hours. So I had no choice to be homeschooled because it would be crazy if I went to, an actual high school and then try to come back. I wouldn't really get the hours I needed in.
Mhm.
So we would like practice for a little certain time in the morning and then stop, do school, then practice again. So it was like a routine, and you really have to be like dedicated and you have to stay on the schedule because it can get out of control quick.
And starting at like a young age too.
Yeah.
Like, I know I started doing that kind of step schedule when I was like 10, So
I think at that time I was like
yeah.
14,
Yeah.
15.
Mhm.
So it was different for me because a lot of kids actually don't do that. They're actually in school, like what she said.
Mhm.
But yeah, for all high school, I was homeschooled, so it was definitely a different experience for me. But yeah, it was cool. Now, but it's it's different because going from being homeschooled to now going to college,
Yeah.
Mhm.
to balance everything, you have to talk to your professors and just your communication. You really have to like keep that up, and then grades, and then practice. And practice for us is also different because we don't have a gym on campus. Ours is like an hour away. We have to wake up early in the morning, practice 6:30 to 9:30, get back classes. Like it's a lot.
Yeah.
But like I said, we did it.
Okay.
Very dedicated. We're a very dedicated team, especially,
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have a gym soon.
that's right.
Well, I guess I mean, I'm glad you brought that up because I did not think about that. That this is a first year program, and that you probably didn't have the facilities, before the program got running. So, yeah, wow. So said that's a new one on me, and something I should have thought about, especially since I'm a former coach. I should have known that, but uh, like Coach said, it does take a lot of dedication. I know how even on the high school and the collegiate side of me coaching, I knew how hard it was for some of my student athletes to make practice, to attend practice, especially what was it, the the first assistant coaching job that I had as an events coach, by myself. It was similar. My student athletes had to be there like at, I think it was 6 in the morning, and they actually had to commute. So, it's very similar, and I had to have them there. I wanted them there so that once we finish practice, they can just go to class and do what they have to do on campus. But yeah, that, like I said, hopefully you'll get that
Yeah.
soon. So what does for a practice facility, what does that look like?
Yeah. So we have 4 main events. You've probably seen them: vault, running toward the stationary object, winner here, champion at it. Balance beam, that's my personal favorites. And we have uneven bars and we have the floor. And, ideally you'd have kind of a giant warehouse. At least like 4 to 5 balance beams, at least 2 sets of bars, and a key for honestly gymnastics as well as a pit. Have you ever seen
Just like these little foam blocks.
correct, a hole full of foam blocks? And that's really, really key. You'll see that a lot in gymnasiums or gymnastics gyms for college gymnastics, so that you can train and not have to worry about doing hard ground landings all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting old. Yeah, you gotta keep the body healthy until it's time for season. And so landing in that soft foam pit is really nice.
Mm-hmm. So, Coach, when you were a gymnast, especially when you were younger, were the facilities the same, or have they greatly improved?
Yeah, I was pretty blessed. I'm originally from Florida, and so we had a really, really nice gym. Brandy Johnson's Gymnastics, shout out. But very, your typical, balance beams, bars, floor. But when I did go to University of Alabama, of course, they definitely had some state of the art equipment as well. But I mean, the key is as long as you have, a safe environment, you can flourish. And so that's the key. It doesn't need to be super state of the art as long as it's safe. At the end of the day, if you can do a beam routine on it, that's what matters. If you can hit your ball and stick it, that's what matters. So a lot of gyms have, maybe some different brands, but as long as it's safe, that's what's important in our sport.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was, I guess, blessed in a way to see Miss Johnson's blooper reel.
That was so fun.
And I know I commented on it, the first one. It said that first one hurt me.
That was when I saw that, I started busting out like,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a reason why men does not have beam.
Yeah.
For that. Oh, dude. Yeah.
And, I mean, and I do, in a way, I hope that reel goes viral because it was entertaining, and I'm glad that that you were able to laugh at it and everything, because yeah,
I really just wanted to show like gymnasts that every day is not going to be perfect. Definitely for people who are actually maybe interested in the sport or just getting into the sport, like every day is not going to be fun, and that's okay. You just have to just remember the good days.
Yeah, you will fall.
Have fun. Yeah, you will
Yeah,
fall.
there will be falls.
It's
in our
part of
sport.
learning.
Yeah.
You learn from those things. No, from the next turn, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to adjust.
Right.
So I not only that I think it was funny, I thought it was also like a learning experience, also for other girls. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like you said, I guess there's a reason why men do pommel horse instead of
yeah,
balance.
I think it's also very interesting how their bars are different versus like, okay, we have 2 sets of bars and ours is like wooden versus they have like this one bar and it's so thin, it's metal.
It is.
Like I can't imagine, okay, like that second clip when I did that big release and landed on my butt and like bounced off. I can't imagine if I did on that bar. That thing would hurt.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
yeah. But this is why at a young age you learn how to land safely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's
Yeah.
safe landings, relatively safe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, yeah. Since you mentioned that, I guess uneven bars that's not something men do either. So yeah, I guess there's a reason for that as well.
I've seen some men actually do it on Instagram. I've really seen men try like our bars and beam. Some of them can do it, and some of them it just goes terribly wrong. It just goes wrong, and then it just goes back to what I said. That's why they don't have those events. I think men also have 5 events. We have 4, correct?
Right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Oh, okay.
they're different.
Okay. Yeah, because as far as like the balance beam, I can't remember who it was, but it was a famous. I think it. I think it was a famous gymnast who talked about it. When I was in high school, we had gymnastic equipment in our gym, and trust me, it was not a safe gym to try to practice gymnastics.
Yeah.
But I didn't really realize how narrow that balance beam is until that interview.
Yep, it's really the width of an iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It is.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Oh wow.
But then it just becomes like the floor, right? You
It
practice
does.
it enough and it's like you're on the floor.
It does.
Oh.
I love to say beam is hard for me though. Staying on it.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to what we just said, it's like the width of it can be hard. So you have to really trust your technique on that event. It's all about technique on that event and just confidence and
That's right.
everything.
That's right.
So
Wow. And with the events that you do, uh, everything I've seen has been amazing. I think that's what kind of caught my eye was it was a floor routine that you did.
no, thank you. Yeah.
And I mean it was great. It was like it was one of your first competitions, I think.
Was it Auburn?
It's probably, yeah.
I think it must
No.
be Auburn.
At Auburn,
I thought it was somewhere else. Didn't you do one out west?
oh,
Where was it?
maybe, I'm trying to think. I know that
It was my first. If it was like my very first floor routine was SEMO.
was SEMO. It might have been
Yeah.
SEMO.
Now, which one did you? Because you won a competition. didn't you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it was the one that you won.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
She's done floor so many times. I'm like,
It's
so
funny,
that,
I did.
God.
But thank you.
I thought maybe that one clip with at Auburn
Yeah,
gotten a lot of
because that's the one that went
Yeah.
like
viral.
crazy viral.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Seriously, competing floor this year has been really fun. The fact that I love showing off my personality.
It is fun.
Because in JO, it was hard for me to do that because all you really hear is like classical music, like very slow music, and me, I like to pop and lock it. I like some hip hop, so I really made sure to incorporate that in my routine for college, and it was. I love competing floor.
It is really good.
Yeah,
That is a
I
good
can't wait for the routines for next year.
We have to do a new one. So big.
It would. Yeah.
So let's talk about the national championship.
Mhm.
Um, like I said, you are the first HBCU student athlete to win an individual event in the vault. Um, but you also placed third in the overall.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And when I looked at the scores, yeah, I saw where it could have gone either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was that close.
It was
that
close.
close.
It was close, yeah.
Like
Mhm,
that's
210. 2/10, yeah.
mhm.
Mhm.
And you're a freshman,
That's
I
right.
am.
That's
so what's your outlook for the future? Are you looking for the overall like next year? Are you looking to sweep all the individual events?
You
What's
already
your
know. My goal next year is to clinch the win for all around. But also for next year to offer for the whole team to go to nationals. I think that would be dope. Um, and for us to get a high score of a 195, maybe even cooler.
right.
Um, yeah, I'm excited for next year. I think there's going to be a lot in store for next year because the fact that we were able to accomplish as much as we did for our first year
Yeah.
Mhm.
For such a young team.
for
You had
exactly
11 freshmen.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
To me, I think that speaks volumes, and I really don't think a lot of people were expecting that much from Talladega.
Mhm.
Honest, a little bit.
Right. It was a fun surprise though.
It was.
Mhm. Well, and I mean, yeah, I mean, in general, a brand new program, people aren't expecting a lot.
Yeah.
But I think, if I'm not mistaken, last year, this, of course, is the first HBCU gymnastics program. And I think they took a few to nationals
Yes.
in
Oh,
their
yes.
first
Yeah.
year.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And things just came together for one of them. So, and I believe she's a senior this year.
Oh,
So, or am I incorrect on that?
she should be a sophomore.
Sophomore.
Yeah.
Sophomore?
Morgan.
Morgan.
She's a sophomore.
Yeah.
Morgan?
Yeah.
Okay.
She just finished her sophomore season.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I don't know why I thought she was a senior, but so so okay, so you brought up Morgan. Morgan won the overall.
Mhm.
Have you developed a friendly rivalry with her already, or have you not seen each other enough for that yet?
Well, I mean, even though we're two separate HBCUs, it is just friendly competition.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, I have been cool with Morgan. I think she's a cool person. Uh, yeah. I don't really.
It was really cool
But
though, like seeing like Fisk as like with us, our team at our
yeah.
we were both at our very first meet ever. So our
That
first
was
meet ever at Florida
Mhm.
and having them with us, I thought that was really cool to kind of like, HBCUs are here, like let's do this. So I think we'll have a little bit of that, but we're always gonna have that natural competitive nature. Us gymnasts, we're all competitive. So
Yes.
at the end of the day, we're competing against each other, but it's so fun to be like, wow, you just did that. Like props to you. Like
Yeah, that's what
Right.
yeah.
And also, there's a third one, Wilberforce.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're coming
They're
soon.
coming.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
HBCUs and gymnastics.
Building. That's right.
Yes, sir.
It is coming.
Wow. So let me see. So that means I will have two programs within driving distance of me, up down in Nashville and up in Wilberforce. So yeah, I might be able to finally attend a live gymnastics meet.
Mhm.
That will be great. But yeah, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see how many others follow in your footsteps. I know there are other programs adding new sports that are not traditional African American sports, or and you can't. I guess you really can't say that about gymnastics now, as many African Americans that are involved in gymnastics. So, but things like hockey and
So ice skating.
Ice skating. I was about to say ice skating. Yeah.
yeah, ice skating and
Who
which
is who's the first
yeah,
you have ice skating? Was it how? I forgot.
Tennessee State or what is it? Still
Okay.
Tennessee State or yeah, or is it Howard? I think it is
It
Howard.
was Howard. It was something like that. But I thought it was cool that
Mhm.
whoever it was the first HBCU to have
Yeah,
skating. I was like,
that's right. That is right.
Mhm.
but a lot of people. I'm just glad this is just finally happening, even though this should happen like a long time ago.
Mhm.
And a lot of people will think that they were trying to keep Black people from around the sport, and I really don't think that.
Mhm.
I think it's just been hard for us because how expensive it is,
That's right.
Mhm.
and then gyms are limited.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it has to do with in between the lines with those like with that aspect really. But yeah, like I just said, I'm just glad it's finally happening, and
Yeah.
see
And we
more
have-
of us to come home.
Like we also have an inaugural acro team here too.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. Talladega is the first HBCU to have acro and tumbling as well.
Yeah, they're making history as well.
They just
Shout out to Yep,
Wow. So
empower moves here.
sure is.
okay. So what's the I mean, I guess some of it might be obvious, but what's the essential difference between gymnastics and tumbling?
So they are more kind of a if you're specifically talking about acro and tumbling, they are kind of a combination of cheer and gymnastics.
Yeah.
They do some like stunt work with each other, but they still also tumble on a non-spring floor where I do not tumble anymore. They tumble on a spring floor. And we also have the 3 other events as well. And the scoring is a little different as well.
And then they have like this huge like team routine like at
That's
the
right.
end with
Kind of like
stunts and
yeah.
yeah, they just have like a whole mixture of everything that they do like at the end, which is
Yeah.
cool with like music. So yeah. Yeah, I actually had I had a competition here, so I was able to experience that because I've never watched an acro and tumbling
Me
meet.
too.
So I thought it was cool.
That was my first time too. That was awesome.
You got to watch history.
So overall, Talladega Athletics is NAIA, but because you are gymnastics and there's no gymnastics in NAIA, you are an NCAA D1 program. If I or am I incorrect on that?
We're technically not allowed to call ourselves NCAA D1 yet, but we are in transition to become NCAA Division II. But until we get that official title, we're kind of in limbo. Ourselves and Fisk, we're still allowed to compete against NCAA schools as long as there is at least 2 other NCAA institutions at that meet. So that's why you maybe saw us at a lot of quad where there's 4 teams or tri meets, just so that way we fulfill the requirement since we are not officially NCAA yet.
Ah, okay. Okay. Thank you very much for the explanation. Yeah.
Tricky, it is.
Now, what about the acrobats and tumbling? Are they in the same boat, or is that a NAIA sport?
I think they're also in a similar situation. Yeah. Just because I've gotten a little closer with our acro coach, we are kind of in the same limbo, making history, but not quite governed, but we're following rules, I promise.
Okay. Okay. So, was that one of the reasons why you did go to the USA Gymnastics Collegiate National Championships and okay.
Correct. So, and actually that championship, the USAG Collegiate National Championship, actually a combination of divisions. So it's anyone that has the at least 6 scholarships. And so they were allowed to be, invited, and we just had an intent to participate form that we filled out and went through all of that. But that is a part of why we didn't quite get invited to the other one. But it's still an amazing championship. There's a
Mhm.
lot of amazing talent at that USAG national championship, and
Mhm.
really, really think it's a great opportunity. And I hope we keep pushing girls to want to go there too. So
Right. Okay. So, um, with that, how many athletes went to the national championships from Talladega?
we were able to bring 6 this year. So that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because a little bit tricky there too as well, because we aren't NCAA yet, we actually
Mhm.
weren't allowed to bring our whole team.
Mhm.
Just trying to finalize some things there, but we were allowed to bring individuals. So we were allowed to bring. We actually kind of able to do it a little differently this year. That doesn't
Mhm.
usually happen, but we were able to bring 2 all-arounders, um,
Mhm.
2 individuals on vault. Nope. Yep.
Yep.
And 2 on bars.
Bars.
Yeah. Well, I guess
One.
6 girls, but between competing 2 events.
Yeah.
That was confusing. And then 1 on team and 1 on floor.
Yeah. That's why I was saying the goal for next year. I hope that all of us go to nationals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hopefully we can figure out our NCAA. But in the meantime, we will definitely be working to get all of our individual spots filled.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because that was another, I guess, graphic or post that was made on Instagram that I reposted was all of the athletes from Fisk and from Talladega who were going to nationals, and I just thought that was totally amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. Really, really cool.
Yeah. So now I did notice something at nationals. Um, I noticed that when Kyrstin was doing her vault, that she was with another team.
Oh yeah.
And
Mhm.
so, could you explain how those rotations work?
Yeah. So, kind of because of what we were talking about a little bit before, that we couldn't take the whole team. Um,
Mhm.
if our all-arounders, like Kyrstin, qualified because she competed in all 4 events, whereas some of our
Mhm.
other girls that came only got to compete on what they qualified for, like bars or beam.
Mhm.
Because she was going to compete all 4 events, you actually have an individual competitor like Kyrstin go with the team that's also competing all 4 events.
Mhm.
So she was tagged on to Cornell's team, and they took her in like
They
like
did.
their own. They were amazing.
When I tell you, they're oh my gosh, they made the experience so memorable. I'm trying to tell you, I couldn't have been with a better team.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They made signs for me. It was a whole surprise. Actually at first I didn't notice the signs.
Me either.
Because after when I made beam and bars, I was bawling my eyes out because I was so proud of myself. And they're like, "Yes, look at the signs, look at the signs." I was like, "Go KJ!" And then they had something, and then Dega, and I was just like, "This is just." I even got to teach them a couple of our cheers, which was fun, and even cheers for me.
Yeah.
They were like, "When I say K, you say J, K, J, K." I was
They
like,
were awesome.
I love Cornell.
But yes, she did get to go kind of by herself, but
Yeah.
that team kind of took her in, so that was really nice.
And I was nervous about that because I haven't been by myself, at least not in a while. I mean, the last time I was by myself was when I was at nationals in
Mhm.
jail.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
they made it really nice.
Different experience, not with your team, but it was nice to have a new team for a little bit. But yeah.
So she was adopted by Cornell,
Yeah.
and yeah, and I saw some of the clips with them cheering and everything, and I just can't imagine the the level of joy of being able to mesh with others like that,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't see that often because of the competitive nature
I
of
was going to bring that up.
yeah.
Yep.
So true.
So,
So true.
wow. So, Kyrstin, take us through that historic vault, because that was the highest score vault of any HBCU athlete in history.
I was I'm not gonna lie, for that whole meet, I was just so nervous because I'm a perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
And usually as a gymnast, I mean, no gymnast will want to like mess up.
Yeah.
And I've been doing so well with this vault all year. And my goal was to stick that vault. And I have not done that yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember before going, Coach Zan came up to me. He was like, "You got this. Just think about technique. Don't even think about sticking." But in the back of my mind, I was just like, I'm still thinking about sticking that vault. But I was just like, just think about technique. I like blocked off the table, twisted, I made sure I stayed tight, and I just opened, had my arms there. And if you see me in the video, I was just like, ain't no way. And my heart was just, because I know the rule is once you salute,
Yeah.
you're supposed to stand there for like 2
You have to
seconds.
stay there for a second.
Knowing well, I was just like, do not move, stay still, because I really want to go like, y'all see that? Y'all see that? I was just like, okay. And I just ran into the van, and all you hear is like in the video is him stomping his foot on the ground because like all he wanted to do was just tackle me. It was amazing experience, just a moment. I'm just blessed. That meet couldn't have went. That meet couldn't have been any better.
It was
It
amazing.
went way better than what I thought.
Amazing.
Amazing.
But your technique, all the drills you did.
That too.
We
Well, thank you, Coach
we were
Dan.
expecting it. Yeah. All the drills you did leading up. It was gonna be a stuck. We knew it.
I mean, like the vault was nice itself. It was just that one thing of just sticking it.
It was beautiful.
And I did. I'm so proud of myself.
It was beautiful.
So proud of myself.
And we'll have more to come.
Oh yeah.
So in gymnastics, do they just take the highest score, or do they drop a score and average, or how do they score that?
So that first day, that first meet,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was the first night you stuck it, right? There were 4 judges. And so they dropped the high, dropped the low, averaged the 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because one judge gave me a 10, the other one gave me a
Yeah.
9.95,
I believe so.
something like that.
Yeah.
So then my score ended up coming to a 9.925. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it may have counted 995 in there too, because they probably dropped the 10,
Mm-hmm.
dropped the 99, and they started the middles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I guess next time you just have to try to make them all 10s.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's always the goal.
Mhm.
Always. It's so hard, right? Because the judges
Is
also are very like they're human, and
Mhm.
you never want to be the judge to score too soon, too high, and then
Mhm.
the game, and
Yeah.
they're supposed to judge what they see. But it is hard. It's hard.
Okay. Well, you were national champion in the vault.
Mhm.
You were first team All-American overall.
Mhm.
What other honors did you receive?
So you're also first team. Sorry, you might know this. Do you want to say it?
Oh, good.
Because you're 4-time All-American.
Oh yeah. Oh my.
She's like,
Well, I thought you
Yeah.
just said that. Sorry.
so,
Yeah.
so you mentioned, right? All-American for all around.
Mm-hmm.
She's also All-American for balance beam and floor. Yeah.
And then
And
vault.
vault, obviously.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dang.
Okay.
She's a 4-time All-American
Yes.
over here.
Okay.
And obviously a national champion. It's good vibes.
Yeah, I'm still trying to like grasp it all. Cause in the moment, I actually really didn't understand. Like I knew what I did was big, but then all 3 of them walked over to me. They were like, "Kyrstin, do you even know
Do you
like,
know
what you just did?" I was looking at them. I was just like,
No, it's just like I have no
so they broke it down, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then even after they broke it down,
You're like,
I was still
what?
processing it all. I still am.
It is a lot.
Right.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. It was definitely an experience. Like going to nationals, I didn't really know like too much.
Mhm.
Because like she said, I mean, this is my first year. I'm a freshman.
Correct.
I'm just going into it. But yeah, I'm really blessed for this opportunity. I'm glad it happened, and just yay, go Tornadoes.
Yeah, because I in starting this chat, when I had to go over to Instagram to start over there, ironically, wasn't expecting it. Ironically, there was a post from BET talking about you.
Yeah. You
So
face. First of all, my heart like dropped to my chest. And my mind was just blown, and I was just like, I had to call my parents. I was like, "Mom, Dad, I'm on BT." They was like, "You lying?" They went. They were like, "Kyrstin." Ah. Oh my gosh, I'm so BET.
Oh yeah, you and Miss Price are receiving loads of accolades. Actually, I'm behind on my repost. So yeah, my feed's gonna look crazy probably at the end of the weekend because
Okay,
it's probably gonna be two gymnasts who are just in that feed, and I'll try to sprinkle some other people in, but
Definitely, we're both really grateful. Like, Morgan and I are very grateful for the support that we're getting. I think it's just really cool that how everybody's just so open and supportive. I mean, they couldn't do it they probably didn't have to do it at all, and they are. So we really are grateful for that. This seriously has been like an experience for both of us. So I'm really happy that at HBCU, both HBCUs were able to take that title. So congrats to Morgan and for Talladega. Yay.
So did you leave nationals? Did Talladega leave nationals with a close relationship with this? Did y'all exchange phone numbers and things like that?
Well, we actually did see them about 4 other times this season.
Okay.
So it was more of just like a, "Hey, how you
Yeah.
been?" Like, literally throughout the oh my God, both meets that weekend. You're like, "Hey, y'all, like, what's up?"
Morgan would go, I would cheer for her. If I would go, she would cheer for me, and then we would just high five and be like, "Good job."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh my gosh, Kirsten, that boat was so good." And
Yeah.
then, yeah.
It
So
was a nice little like homecoming finish, you
Yeah.
know, because we had already seen each other at like 3 other meets. So that was really cool.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I said it's always great when our HBCUs, have a relationship like that. Because I know, being an HBCU graduate myself, I know how our rivalries were when I was in school, and it wasn't like that. Not for our longest and most intense rivalry, which I'm still trying to figure that one out because they beat us in football really bad every time we played, but we were rivals somehow. But like I said, today's camaraderie among HBCUs, it does my heart well when I see it, because that's the only way I believe that HBCUs are going to level up to their PWI peers, is by bringing each other up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and let's see, like you said, you and Miss Price, you two have elevated HBCU gymnastics, especially with her making her media rounds on the national stage. I'm hoping that will have the same effect as Coach Prime when he was at Jackson State, that more young ladies will start looking at the Talladega, the Fisk, and the Wilberforce, and consider those programs. And I guess the part that kind of really blows my mind about it, all three of your programs are essentially NAIA programs at heart.
Yeah.
So I'm sending out a message to all of your NCAA brothers and sisters. About time to step up to the plate.
Yeah. We'll have our own little NIA conference, but ideally, yeah.
Yeah. But nationals seriously has been a ride. Like I said, I was like so nervous. I remember like before bars, my legs were like shaking like so bad. Um, because I know that there was like this little release move in there. I've just been really just trying to perfect in the gym, and I was really trying to make a difference at this meet, and I did, and I was so proud of myself.
Yeah.
And that meet, if I think about it, I even broke more records at that meet. Or I know that I tied like the highest beam score for Talladega, and then I even broke the floor record score for Talladega. And then we had vault. I broke the HBCU vault score.
Yeah, you know, casual vault champion. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was amazing. Yeah. And then I even did good on Sunday as well. So
It was a fun
fun.
weekend. It was a fun weekend.
it was fun.
Well, Coach, because you have been at a, I guess I'm going to call it Power Five, since you were in a Power Five program. How's and of course, we can assume that you have more resources there at Alabama than you have at Talladega, but how's the overall preparation, the same or different?
Yeah, good question. I tell these girls all the time, I still run this program at Talladega like it's a D1 program. I have the same standards as that I was received when I was at the University of Alabama. And, you know, I pushed them to their hardest, and they have study hall, same hours, everything. Just because I just want them to know, like, nothing changes. You're that good. You know, I believe that you could go anywhere. So we're going to treat as if you are at a Power Five. And I really think they competed to that standard this first season. So I'm so excited to just see how we really get going now that they're getting used to each other, right? We brought a bunch of strangers in together, really,
Yeah.
and forced them to be a team. But now that they've actually got a base,
I was like, now that we finally got our feet wet, we get to prepare like the newcomers that are coming in.
that's
And
right.
be like, hey, this is like what we do.
That is right. So they'll come in, and we
Yeah.
will run it just like any other Power Five, to the best of resources possible, of course. But I do run it just as if I had left UA.
Okay. Well, continuing on the team end, you had some other gymnasts who also achieved All-American status.
Yes, sir.
Could you kind of talk about them a little bit?
Alexa Chi.
Yes, Alexa Chewy, second team All-American on all around. Alondra Maldonado, she was our 5th-year transfer, our oldest on the team for this inaugural season. I believe she was first team All-American on the floor. And Pierre Williams, she's gonna kill me for saying that wrong. She is our Canadian. So we have some international students as well. She is our first team All-American on vault. And I think that is everyone. But yeah, we came home with, brought 6 there. We came home with 4 girls that have All-American status. So we did pretty well at nationals.
Yeah, that's terrific. Especially like I said before, first time program, first year program rather. That is outstanding, and so kudos to you, Coach, for a job well done, and your coaching staff.
Thank you.
So can you also talk about them?
Yes, I have the best coaching staff. Obviously, I'm biased, but I truly could not have done this without them. First, Coach Wendy Carey. She used to coach at secondary college, secondary of Louisiana, and then also at UW Oshkosh. An amazing coach. Also, just taught me a ton of basics about things that I didn't know. Where like she's a judge as well, so she judges gymnastics. So that helped a lot in making sure we had all the credit that we needed on leaps and beam and bar, like
squats,
all the things that maybe I would have forgotten. Yeah, we had an actual judge that could help kind of have that side. And then I also had an amazing friend. He worked with me at the University of Alabama as a manager, but he learned a ton and did his research. And he is our main vault coach. That's Coach Zan Jones. We love him to death. He is our main vault and floor lead. And gosh, he knows some drills. And
yes, he does.
That between both of those, a judging background and the drill master, and then I was like kind of the fun one. Yes, he's coming to me. We're the best team ever. I mean, honestly, I love them to death, and I cannot imagine like I told them like, hey, want to do this inaugural team with me? Like, I can't imagine where their brains were when I called them. So
Mhm.
I'm just so blessed and thankful they said yes. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow, that is a blessing that you actually have a judge there. Uh, that has to give you an edge upon other programs
It does. It
because
helps.
yeah, yeah. And so,
That's right.
so let's talk about Talladega College. What are well, yeah, what are some of the top programs there at Talladega?
Athletics.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, this year is amazing. I mean, obviously, we're an inaugural team. They brought in acro and tumbling and men's volleyball.
Wow.
All three inaugural teams this first season. And I think we showed out. We did amazing. And then, of course, we have an amazing women's volleyball team as well. They just got their rings for their winning the GCAC championship.
Mhm.
And that was an amazing ceremony they had yesterday for them. And then, of course, our men's basketball team is also rock stars. So we have honestly like at least I think 15 different teams, but compared to all of our track and field athletes and soccer and
Mhm.
women's basketball and golf. We have a lot of teams here. We are athletic school really, but amazing team. Everyone supports everyone. Like it's
Mhm.
it's a true family. Yeah.
It is. It is.
Okay. Yeah, because Talladega's primarily known for its band.
Yes,
And-
yes, that is right. And of course, shout out to them. They went to London this past year. I don't know if you saw
did.
that. So
Yeah.
amazing, amazing.
mhm. And you know that's great. It's I did not know that you have that taken on men's volleyball. That
In volleyball,
Volleyball.
yes. They just finished their inaugural season as well.
Yeah.
We're making history out here. You know?
We're the gymnastics team is really good friends with. We're really good.
Yeah, you guys are close.
Yeah.
and so the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference. Isn't this Talladega's first full year in the Gulf Coast?
I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Okay.
yeah, women's
It is.
volleyball just took that championship. So shout out to them.
Mhm.
Wow. And you know, I said that's amazing. I did know that Gulf Coast had brought on a few new programs this year. And so you know, it's good to see that conference doing well, you know, as well, because I know it had lost various programs to like the Red River Athletic Conference, which surprisingly, I know volleyball, you know, Xavier has won every year they've been in. And they were winning when they were in the Gold Coast. So uh, you know, it's just great to see our programs being able to move from one conference to another and still maintain a high level of excellence. And so you know, I'm really happy for you guys. Now academically, what are some of the major degree programs there?
Oh yes. Well, almost all of the gymnastics team is
Yeah.
in the biology major.
Bio major.
We have about maybe 12 of our 16
Yeah.
are bio majors. Amazing field. I mean, you guys have amazing staff. I know you guys were complaining about how hard your tests were the other day, but they are challenging them. So we shout out to the
Yeah.
biology team.
Ooh.
But I know we have a few specifically on our team that are also business majors and criminal justice.
Yep.
But I do know we also have a great chemistry department as well,
Mhm.
and fine arts. Of course, we are a fine arts school, so we've got some really nice majors. Sorry I don't know the whole list, but
Those are the only ones I remember as well.
those
So.
main.
Yeah.
But biology, that's you know, that's difficult enough for a lot of students,
Yeah.
and so you know, but it's great seeing our future
Mhm.
investing in STEM programs.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, you know, hopefully we'll have some of you up there like the ladies from what was that movie called? The one with the women at NASA.
Yeah.
But,
What you talking about? I can't remember. the
Isn't
movie.
it Hidden Figures? Or no?
yes, Hidden Figures. That's it. That's it. So hopefully, we'll have a new set of Hidden Figure alums from our HBCUs. Because like I said, we do great things. Just people don't know, and they take for granted that some other people were the ones behind certain things. In fact, I just reposted today something about the lady that created the modern ironing board.
Oh wow.
People don't know that. That was a black woman.
Then someone from
You know,
Talladega has something to do with an iPhone.
Yeah, I
It was
think
more-
it's oh my gosh, I forgot his name, but like he had the technology that's like the first part of like knowing how to run like the
Yeah,
iPhone or something.
yeah. That's one of the first things they told us on the tour when I came here for the Dega tour.
There's
I was
some
like,
history here.
oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Never would have known. Yes.
so are most of you iPhone owners or Android?
No, iPhone all the way.
Yeah.
Apple.
I'm all Apple.
Mm-hmm.
I used to not be, but my husband has transferred me to a Mac now.
That is Android. Only person in the family with the I don't get it. Maybe you know what?
Yeah.
You just want to be different. Maybe
So,
cool.
just trying to be.
iPhones are
Well, I'm an Android person myself, but hey, as long as you have technology, not these days, that's really what matters. Because I came from the era of the rotary phone and the and pre laptops, and so I know how it was back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so excuse me. But yeah, I mean, I said it's definitely great the things that you're doing, and we're definitely looking for more from Talladega in the future. But this is the most serious subject that I always ask. And since I have a student athlete here, you're the first one who will answer this question, hopefully. How do you deal with the mental health aspect of competing? And you, as the coach, how do you manage that for your team and your coaches?
Yeah, that's good. Do you want to go
You wanna
first?
go?
Or I can. Yep.
Nope. Go
I
ahead.
can go first.
Yep.
No, it's really important, especially being, a recent graduate, I guess you could say, of going through the process of being a collegiate gymnast. It's a lot of pressure between
Yeah.
competing and the schedule, and obviously we're already perfectionists. And so I wanted to make sure as a coach, now that I had the opportunity to, be aware of this going into an inaugural team, we do really important job of like making sure they know they have mental health days. If they text me one day and say, "Hey, today I'm literally not there," my safety or just my test schedule is insane. Take that mental health day. We have a couple that they have in the fall and the spring, and then we're just really also our coaching staff is really trying to make sure they know that they have a safe space to talk. If something is off, come to us. So we really try to monitor it as well. But of course, we always want to let them know they have the resources here on campus. We have an amazing counseling staff, but also just if you anyone to talk to, if you don't want to talk to me, you have other people to talk to. So we always try to let them know that is important. That's almost like our fifth event almost. And when it comes down to in the gym as well, we also practice mental choreography when you have mental blocks. And
Yep.
I don't know if you know when you saw Simone Biles, her twisties, that is a real thing. And I
That
have
is a
that.
thing. Yeah.
So to try to prevent that or try to keep that down, we practice mental choreography, and it's very mental over here, but it's a good mental.
She basically touched on everything that I was gonna say, but for me, pressure, a lot of
Mhm.
pressure. Possibly unnecessary pressure you put on yourself. Definitely when you're also trying to make someone else proud.
Mhm.
Um, I definitely do a lot of journaling. There's also counselors, and then you have to make sure you communicate definitely with your coaches. Yeah, basically, literally everything that she just said.
Mm-hmm.
But the journaling is so
But the
good.
journaling,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
Not everyone is comfortable just to talk to someone. At least journaling, you're able to just get whatever is on your mind out.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, when you do have like mental blocks, it's just good to acknowledge those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think journaling is also very important, including like meditation. I even do that sometimes. Definitely for a competition, definitely if I'm like very anxious, or if I know like something important is really coming up, or like could be like a test. It doesn't even have to be gymnastics related.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure that you're really taking care of yourself is important. That comes first, because if you're not doing that, everything can just fall apart.
Yeah.
Academics and athletics, seriously. So yeah.
Good. That's good.
So you mentioned Simone Biles, coach, and you were a student athlete before you were a coach. With what happened to her at the last Olympics, did that change how programs dealt with mental health for gymnasts, or were programs already dealing with mental health before that happened?
I do think it started beforehand, but I
Yeah.
think when the world saw Simone happen, it was like, okay, this is like
So I
this is happening for real, for real. Like I
Yeah.
think it really let people see like even the best athletes,
Yep. They have their
they're
moments.
human. Yeah.
Yes, they have their moments.
Especially in our sport, like shout out to all the other hard sports, but gymnastics, you can literally get seriously injured.
Yeah.
And
Your
so
mental's not there.
and so I think it's more aware now that making sure that people might be asking, like when the people come to recruit, they'll be like, okay, do you have counselors? Do you have, someone for her to talk to if she gets this? So that may not have been a question when I was getting recruited. And it definitely is always asked now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before that, I had never. I might have heard of twisties. I just didn't know what they were, and never considered with the moves that she did. Of course, her skill set is totally different than almost anyone else in the world. But you know, it was when athletes are in the air like that, that's not something that I guess myself and others even considered that I guess it's sort of like airplane pilots is who I could most closely associate that with. That sometimes they can get themselves turned upside down and think that they're still right side up in the air. And so, so I once again I applaud both of you because you are gymnasts. Even though somebody might not currently be competing, you're still a gymnast.
I think it's just I can imagine the pressure on her.
Mm-hmm.
Really, after just even after coming out, just expressing her feelings about it. The social media,
Yeah.
a lot of people were understanding, and a lot of people were not.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that's just even extra pressure just put on her. So the fact she was able to get through that, she is a strong, independent Black woman. So kudos to her. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in talking about strong, independent Black women, Miss Johnson, let's talk about your crown because you don't normally see anyone just wearing their hair in the natural competing, and of course that was, for me at least, that was one of the first things that caught my attention was the hair. I'm like, okay, she's different. She's totally different.
Thank you.
But it went with the routine as well.
I made sure to put some Beyonce in there. She's just so strong and anyway, but Yeah, my fro is definitely my crown.
It's your signature. Yeah.
It's my signature. Yeah. And I talk about this a lot because I always go back to club. Um, I always felt like I need to fit in, definitely with the other girls because there's not a lot of Black girls in the sport. Um, there's been times I've been maybe the only one, or there might be like a couple, but I still felt like I did not fit in. So I would try to make my hair a certain way, just like the other girls, struggling, partying, whatever, whatnot, gel. But when I got here, I just knew that there was no questions asked, everything was understood. I shouldn't I shouldn't be afraid to even put on a bonnet or just wear it out, hair, nappy, whatever the case may be. So I want to go out there and compete with the fro to let other girls know that your hair is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with your hair. If people don't like it, that's not your problem. Your hair is beautiful. It's who you are. You are unique. Um, yeah, so that is what this fro is for. And I even said if I could go back and tell myself that, I would, because there's no need to change yourself to fit in. Mm-mm. So
Well, definitely love the crown. And I noticed too that you have been promoting a lot of product online lately.
Black businesses, yes, Black owned businesses.
That's right. That's right.
Now,
Comment. This is one of them.
oh yeah, I still gotta
Product.
one. So
Positive Girl and Company. That's the third one. Q tape. Yep.
okay.
I'm gonna have to. Can't wait to put up something for them. So, but yeah, I'm
Well,
really glad that they let me, you know, really shout their businesses. Think for all this stuff. I think it's just really nice because I think we should definitely support each other more. And yeah, so shout out to those people.
I'll be getting in contact with you too about some of those. So
Well, thank you.
just know that you'll be hearing from me soon.
I just go for this fro too. Just why it's so bumpy and smell good. Use the 3-minute hair mask. Mm.
So now, Coach, as a Crimson Tide alum,
Mhm.
I don't get to ask this very often, but we know that Coach Saban left. My family's originally from Alabama as well, so I love the Crimson Tide too. But so as far as NILs, um, how does Talladega? What does Talladega do as far as that space? And I guess I have to ask that because I know, like I said, Talladega is a primarily an NAIA program,
Mhm.
and I don't think the NAIA has embraced NILs yet. I could be wrong. But as far as your sport
Yeah.
or your program,
So we actually had an athletics meeting on with a company that wants to bring NIL to Talladega. It actually is not just strictly NCAA schools. I think the key piece is, a lot of the companies are specific to working with the athlete. That is the name, image, and likeness of them. Of Kyrstin. And there are some companies that we talk to that are, can work with us, but you have to give them permission to use our logo and things like that. But I'm not gonna lie, I think it's pretty new for Talladega. I don't know if they were quite ready for for the attention, but it's growing, and I'm excited that KJ is getting these huge opportunities, and some other sports as well are starting to get some information as well. So I think we'll be having a lot more athletic meetings about NIL in the very near future to give you a little more info a little bit later.
okay, yeah, because I actually sent her a message. One of the products I saw her, was like, hey, they need to do something with you about NIL, and they need to make sure you need to make sure you get that money.
Yeah. As long as it's her name, image, and likeness, and she's not using the school's logo. That's the main thing right now. But we're definitely going to learn some more info about Talladega in that space.
Okay. Well, I mean, it could be huge. I mean,
Yeah.
look what happened to Angel Reese
I know.
last
Yeah.
year after the national championship. You know, over almost, I think it was almost $2 million. So
And their gymnastics team is huge with their NILs as well.
Oh yeah.
They're one of the
Yeah. Yep.
um,
One of my old teammates too, Trinity Brown. I think she has an NIL deal with what's it called? Hey Dude, you know the shoes?
I think I've heard of them. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Slip-ons.
She goes to Clemson.
Awesome.
Yeah.
okay. Hey, dude.
They're like some shoes.
Just like
Yeah.
these shoes.
Okay. Well, definitely have to look them up as well. And so, but this has been great. I'm really happy to have had you as guests today. But you know, as they say, all good things must come to an end, unfortunately.
No.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
We can definitely do this again. This was really fun.
Thank you.
Oh, sure. But before I let you go, I always give my guests, well, and before I let you go, Coach, I do have to ask you this question. Who were some of your biggest influences as far as you coaching?
Oh.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, definitely, the very first lady who recruited me, Sarah Patterson. I still talk to her till this day, asking her questions and asking her if I can do this. Huge inspiration, really, really, just like her and her like legacy with Dana and Brian. All my college coaches. Really, really still look to them today to help me through this process that I'm going through right now.
Okay. Okay. And same question for you, Miss Johnson.
Oh, mine was Gabby Douglas. I always looked up to her. And then coming to collegiate gymnastics, my other one was Trinity Thomas because they're for 1.5 on vault. Loved her vault. So beautiful, her lines and just the technique, everything. And then my third one was also Dominique Dawes because it was a point in time where she was the only Black girl in the sport. And now you can actually look from your left to your right and there's more of us in the sport. It's nice to see other girls like me in the sport and also accomplishing the things that they accomplished. I think it's huge. And now that Gabby Douglas is actually back in the sport, I think it's amazing. Because I used to watch her movie all the time on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'll put on repeat. Still would. That's my girl right there.
And well, you name three of my favorites. So, yeah, that's great. And so now we've come to the part where I encourage you to shout out whoever you want to shout out.
Oh. Okay.
My grandmother, Johnny Ruth Williams. Oh, I love her. She's like so supportive of me, and I love you, Grandma.
I love that.
And my mom and my dad, Sharon Johnson, Howard Johnson. They've been my number one supporters through everything, and I could not have done it without them. So thank you, and I love y'all.
I'm gonna shout out my husband as well. I honestly, no, I'm never home on time because of the last amazing inaugural season. Shout out Fletcher. Love you to death.
Oh yeah, and my brother, because he's one of the reasons why I was even flipping around the house in the first place. He was teaching me like back bends, splits, everything. So
I love it.
Yeah, I love you too, bro.
Oh, and how much? I'm assuming that he's older than you.
Wait, what did you say?
Is he older than you?
Oh yeah, no, he is. Yeah.
Okay, but how much?
12 years apart.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you were like that. In fact, they had a Cosby Show episode on TV1 not too long ago where Theo was playing with little Rudy, was tossing her up in the air and all this other stuff, and then he missed.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that, but I remember we would even do like this little morning stretching routine. He was a good big brother. He made everything fun. Came to movies, video games, even building forts. He was a good big brother. Yeah.
Well, that's great to hear. That's great to hear because you know, especially with an age difference like that,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of siblings are not that close.
Mhm.
And so it's good, you know, and it's great that he taught you some of the basics that we now get to witness whenever you compete.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He was like, you might also say he was my first coach, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you, Miss Johnson, and thank you, Coach, for participating in this chat. We hope that you and your program continue to succeed, and we will definitely be monitoring to look at your progress over the years, and because we want, you know, Talladega, and of course, you know, our other HBCUs to be those national powers and eventually national champions.
Mhm.
You know, because we, you know, we can do it. We just have to, I guess, be dedicated, you know, to making it happen and to have that vision. And so, uh, you know, once again, kudos to Talladega for starting a gymnastics program. And for those who had that vision to start that and to hire you as the coach. And then, of course, that resulted in Miss Johnson coming to Talladega.
Yeah.
So, and we also want to thank you, the viewers, for watching this episode, this special episode of Chat with HBCU Champions. Please visit ricefame.org for more information, and not only information on this broadcast, but also information on HBCUs in general. You can also go to our Linktree link on that website and access all of our content. When you do that, please like and subscribe to all of our various platforms. And once again, this is Lacey Rice from Rice Fame Group, thanking you for watching and thanking our special guests for taking time out of their day to be with us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Go Tornadoes.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I'm talking about young shakes. Chicago to represent Jesse James. And this for my city.
Hey, I do it for my city. Dog, I don't plan on going down. If he think I'm going down, then he gone first round for my city. Dog, I ain't never been a jumpin'. If he thinking I'm a jump, watch him get his head lumped for my city. Dog, I don't plan on going down. If he think I'm going down, then he gone first round for my city. Dog, I ain't never been a jumpin'. If he thinking I'm a jump, watch him get his head lumped for my city. Cause I feel like I love her so much, like I owe her so much, but supplying her touch, I will always respect her, I will never neglect her. Bet you hear her naming like every one of my records. No, I'm not stunting, ain't no future in your frontin', right? Gotta get this money, watch me get it all night. Planet flying top flight, higher than space stations. That's why I gotta grind, cause I need it and I hate waiting.